Welcome in, everyone from YouTube. Sorry, I forgot to click live there for a sec. But yeah, like I was saying, this is a very interesting session because we've got 9 rookies filling in. So for people who don't know, 4 times a year, F1 teams need to replace their driver with a rookie. So 2 times for each driver, they need to step out of a practice session and let a rookie in their car. Now, a rookie consists of a driver who's done less than 3 Grand Prix. And this is a way for Formula One drivers to get, drivers who haven't been in Formula One before to get more experience in a car. And I think it just mixes up practice sessions a lot. But most importantly, it's just to give these young or less experienced drivers time in a car. So we've got 9 drivers today. We'll do a rundown of all of them in a sec. But like I was saying, this track's very unique. The altitude of the track, is it very high altitude? That's the right wording, right? I always get mixed up if it's high or low altitude. It's high altitude, which means they can basically... Oh, I always get this fucked up every year. Correct me if I'm wrong. This track is high altitude, which means you can basically rock Monaco level downforce, but keep the straight line speed, right? I think that's how it works. Yeah, so it's a very unique track in the sense. This track is obviously not Monaco. It's not low. It's not a low speed track. It's quite a high speed track with a lot of 90-degree corners, and you can basically rock Monaco levels of downforce, and you're still going to be just as quick. So it's very unique in that sense of normally a team that's good in high downforce has to wait for a street circuit or a really slow track like Hungary or Monaco, but now they can rock their high downforce package. And that's why I'm worried about Max. That's why I'm worried about Red Bull this weekend, is because we know that they are good in low downforce. And this weekend, whoa, what the fuck? What is happening? I accidentally just opened something and it's just... Yeah, Red Bull have liked the low downforce this year, so I'm worried that they're going to be fucked this week with the high downforce. But then again, technically, it's still a low-speed track. It's weird. It's weird. Anyways, let's do a rundown of the rookies. Well, I'm waiting for the fucking time to pop up on the side, and then I can do it. Timer is now up on the screen, guys. Be sure to sync on up. Okay, sorry for the weird start of the stream. I've completely forgot to go live on YouTube, and then I've accidentally opened up something that just fucked my OBS, but we're good now. Now I remember McLaren did this award session here because he's Mexican. Well, yeah, that, but also award is a McLaren reserve driver, so that's another reason why. Is he going to show us racing? I can't show the on-track footage because it's copyright, but we are going to... You can sync on up and join us and chatting all about it. High altitude equals low pressure. Whoa, is that something coming out the back of that Ferrari? Why do they look like something's coming out the back of the Ferrari there? And what are you watching? I'm watching on F1 TV. All right, let me have a scroll back up in chat. Okay, fuck it. Let's do a rundown. So, let's do a rundown of all the rookies filling in. So, Jack Crawford is replacing Lance Stroll. Now, Jack Crawford is officially the reserve driver for Aston Martin. He's an F2 driver as well. He won't be partaking in F2 next season, I believe. No, I don't think he is, right? Give me a rundown of Jack Crawford. Is he partaking in F2 this season? He is, right? Yeah, no, Jack Crawford's an F2 this year. So he's an F2 driver, but he's officially a reserve driver now for Aston Martin. So he's filling in for Lance Stroll. So let's see what he's like in an F1 car. I don't think this will be his first time in an F1 car. Then we have got Paul Aaron filling in for Pierre Gasly for Alpine. Now, Paul Aaron isn't an F2 anymore. He was an F2 driver. He was a really good F2 driver. He was a reserve driver for Mercedes, but he didn't get a seat at Mercedes, obviously. Kimi Antonelli did, so he decided to leave Mercedes and become a reserve driver for Alpine. So again, another F2 driver. Let's see how he does. We've then got Hirakawa in the Haas. Now, Hirakawa is a Japanese driver. He's a WEC. He typically is in WEC. And he's Japanese, so he did a test earlier in the year at the Japanese Grand Prix, paid a lot of money to be able to partake in that, or I think his sponsors did. But he's now officially the test driver, or reserve driver for Haas, so that's why he's filling in for Haas. Maybe there's a world where he gets to drive for Haas soon, because Ollie Behrman's close to getting a ban with the amount of penalty points that he has. We've then got the big one, Arvid Lindblad replacing Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Now, Arvid Lindblad is very young. He's only 18 years old. He's only just turned 18. He's currently in F2. He's not having the best of seasons, but he is hailed to be the next driver to get into F1. It looks like he's on track to replace either Liam Lawson or Yuki Tsunoda. If Hadja moves up, then it'll be Tsunoda or Liam. If Hadja stays, it'll probably be Liam. And then, yeah, he's going to probably be the next F1 driver, specifically for Red Bull. And yeah, he is so young. He's so talented. I believe this is his first time in an F1 car. I could be wrong. So it's going to be exciting to see how he does in the Red Bull. I would have preferred to see him in VCarb because obviously VCarb is the team that he's going to probably be at next year. But yeah, let's see how close he can get to Hadja. We've then got Antonio Fiocco. He's a WEC driver for Ferrari. Very interesting choice from Ferrari to put him in the car, in my opinion. But at the same time, he's a great driver. He's in WEC. I believe he won. Did he win Le Mans this year? I'm not sure. Either way, he's filling in for Lewis Hamilton. We've then got my boy, Frederick Vesti. If you don't know, back in 2021, Frederick Vesti used to stream on Twitch when he was in Formula 3. And he hit me up and he was like, do you want to do some open lobbies? So we did some open lobbies on stream together. So Frederick Vesti, a friend of the stream, he is now a reserve driver for Mercedes. I believe he finished second in the F2 Championship. He never got a seat in Formula 1, though. He now does some driving in WEC as well for Cadillac. But mainly, he's a reserve driver for Mercedes, simulator driver. So he's getting his chance to replace George Russell today. And who else have we got? Ayumu Iwasa. He's a reserve driver for, or the third driver for VCarb. It sucks for Iwasa. He got jumped by Liam, obviously, because Liam deserved to jump him. He got jumped by Hadja, which was interesting. And he's probably about to get jumped by Lindblad as well. So Iwasa's just kind of hard stuck being the reserve driver for VCarb now. Iwasa had some pretty good seasons in F2. He then went over to Super Formula and was quite disappointing. But yeah, we'll see what he's like in an F1 car. We've then got Luke Browning filling in for Carlos Sainz at Williams. Now, Luke Browning is in F2. He's doing really well in his rookie season in Formula 2. So I'm excited to see him back in an F1 car in comparison to Albon. I think Luke Browning will make Formula 1 in the future. And fun fact, Luke Browning is a part of Team Redline, Max's sim racing team. So you might have seen Luke Browning playing some games with Max on Twitch before. And I believe finally, the final driver we haven't spoke about, probably the big one other than Arvid, is Pato O'Ward. So Pato O'Ward is an IndyCar driver. Probably one of the best IndyCar drivers at the moment that hasn't won a championship. Yeah, Pato O'Ward is Mexican, so it's nice that he gets to drive around his home track for this test. He's also a reserve driver for McLaren. And yeah, there was talks that maybe he'll make F1 one day. I think he wants to focus on winning a championship in IndyCar and winning the Indy 500 before he comes over to F1. But it's cool to see an IndyCar driver on track today. So we've got an IndyCar driver, we've got a couple WEC drivers, and we've got F2 drivers. It's a good mix out on track today. So I'm excited to see how everyone does in comparison to the teammate. And if we get any crashes. Anyways, that's my rundown. If you got any more questions about any of the drivers, let me know. But that is all the information I know about each driver. Quickly to tell you their ages, by the way. Pato O'Ward is 26 years old. Arvid Lindblad is 18 years old. Antonio Fiocco is 29 years old. Fred Vesti is 23. Jack Crawford's 20. Iwasa is 24. Hirakawa's 31. Luke Browning is 23. And Paul Aaron is 21. So a good mix of younger and older guys out on track. Okay, that's the rundown done of... We've talked about the track. We've talked about all the rookies. Let's see how they're going to do now. Happy Yorkie, JC, On My Mama. I love Call of Duty, Italy, Carboy, Copennies, Alejandro, Rytoxis, Anony, Lucy, your daddy. Thank you guys all for the follows. Welcome to the stream. All right, let me scroll back up in chat. Let's see what I missed. Let's discuss it all. No, the message is gone. I asked you guys earlier, would you guys prefer... Okay, I'm going to ask the question again. The McLaren drivers, do you think they would prefer their teammate to win the championship or Max to win the championship? So, do you think Lando would prefer Piastri to win it or Max to win it? I feel like if I'm one of the McLaren drivers, I want Max to win it. I want the excuse to be like, well, my teammate didn't win it. I don't want my teammate I don't want this thing to be, I lost a championship to my teammate. You'd way prefer it to be, I lost the championship to Max, even though it's your teammate. All right, let me go through chat. George is so underrated, bro. Like, he's so consistent. Would love to see him next to Max. I'd love to see him in a championship winning car in a different team alongside Max. I think a George Russell versus Leclerc, or George versus Max, or Max versus Leclerc, any of those three combos, or all three of them in a championship fight, would be so good. In saying that, we said that about Lando, and then he crumbled. Oh, he's been crumbling. And so is Piastri. So maybe Max is just on another level to these guys. But I do really think Leclerc and Russell would be such a good championship fight, whether it's against each other or against Max. According to you, do you really feel like Max can really win the World Driver Championship? I think so. I think this weekend is the only... If I had to go from with the 5 races we've got left, this is the track I'm most worried about because of the high altitude. Red Bull has loved the low downforce this year, and this is obviously a high downforce track because of the altitude. I'm a bit scared. Once we get past this week, then I'll feel a bit more confident. Sup, Lil Meat. I think they don't care who wins. They want to win for themselves, and if there is no need to think who will win. Yeah, true. But it's more just like a theoretical question. Theoretical question. Oscar, thank you so much for the 8-month resub with Prime, dude. Really do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Need Lindblad to beat Yuki. Do we need him though? It would be if he does, that would be crazy. Helmut Marko would be rock solid, I think. If he saw that. Have you seen the Alpine Insta? They hated it. Yeah, they weren't happy with Colapinto. Oh wait, no, wait. I scrolled way too far up in chat. I can see the max messages. Sup, Matt Job on the stream. We need Lawson on VCub's social media videos. Facts. I don't think Flavio would like it at all. He's the guy that told Duan that he controls every inch of what he does, or something like that. And I don't think someone who said that would like someone disobey the command. Yeah, true. Just tuned in, but I think the best thing for the whole RB stable would be to keep the drivers as they are for next year. Yeah, I agree. I think Yuki is the most experienced driver of the lot. I think it would make more sense for him to be at Red Bull Racing next year, going into new regs to help develop the car, than a rookie at Isaac Hadja or a less experienced driver in Liam Lawson, who's maybe not as in form as Hadja and Yuki right now. To get rid of Yuki after having him for 5 years is such a waste, because he had a terrible 2021 season. They decided to keep him, decided to develop him, and then, to drop him when he's actually performing decent would be ridiculous. And to drop Liam after giving him hardly a chance in an F1 car, promoting him to Red Bull, I think dropping Liam would just make no sense, because what was the point of promoting him to Red Bull then? Yeah, I think they need to keep the lineup the way it is. Also, don't rush Arvid. Arvid's had a mid F2 season. Leave it in F2 for one more year. Fucking fund his F2 season if you want to. Give him some more time in an F1 car. Make him your simulator driver. Get him adapted to the team, and then throw him in 2027 once you can officially evaluate Hadja, Liam, and Yuki. Because if you drop Yuki or Liam, it's just fucking stupid. It's just stupid. Do you think they would really dislike each other over that? Pato Ward is not really a rookie with being an IndyCar. Well, they call it a rookie in the sense of a Formula One rookie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Antonio Fiocco is an experienced driver. Hirokawa's an experienced driver. Pato Ward's an experienced driver. But they're still rookies in terms of F1. None of these guys have done an F1 session. Bit late. What do you mean bit late? We're right on time for practice one. Thank you. And I went live an hour before the stream started. Yeah, I didn't do a prediction for the session next year because there's all the rookies that kind of threw me off a bit. What's up? Very chonky. Mexico always has the best rendition of the F1 song. Yeah, did anyone notice the Mexican song for the intro today? Now I remember McLaren did this award session here because he's Mexican. I mean, yeah, partly because he's Mexican, but partly because he's a McLaren reserve driver and they wanted him to do the test. It makes sense from a marketing standpoint as well. Yeah, Bamman's 2 penalty points off of getting a ban. So then I think we might see Hirakawa soon do a race. Where do you see F1? What's up, Lox Reaper? Depends where you live. F1 TV is probably a good place to start. Maybe stupid question, but if Rookie takes over the car, why car has his rookie number on the livery? I thought they take the car with the current driver number. No, you have to have, when you compete in Formula 1, you choose what your name tag is. So Hulkenberg's HUL, Ocon's OCO. So you pick the name that you want. Well, particularly it's your first 3 letters of your last name unless you have the same name as someone else. Then you just have to change it slightly. So like I learned the other day, Max back in 2015 was VES, not VER, because of John Eric Verne. And then he changed to VER after John Eric Verne's name expired. And in terms of number, you rock your number. Although, correct if I'm wrong, do the drivers rock their own number or do they rock the official team reserve number? So, for instance, in 23, AlphaTauri's reserve number was number 40. And Liam Lawson had to fill in under the number 40, even though his number was 30. Okay, so they're using reserve number. There you go. So they're using the reserve car number. So regardless of who hops in that Red Bull, it's going to have the Red Bull reserve driver number. So I'm assuming VCarb's number is 40. Anyways, that's that. Maybe, I read that. What are their middle names and who has the best one? How is this going to affect Max's championship, do you think? This weekend? Well, again, I think this is such... Red Bull have been so good in low downforce setups this year. You know, look at Silverstone, how he got pole with a low downforce setup. Monza obviously got pole. Oh, yellow flag. Have we got a crash already? We haven't cut to it. Oh, it must be this driver. Who's this? Paul Aaron must have gone off. It's still yellow, though. We're watching Paul Aaron go slow. Okay. Yeah, Paul Aaron must have gone off there. Oh, they're still rocking the special livery. Crawford or the one F3 with the long R name need to make it to F1? Wait, the one with the long R name? You talking about Fornaroli? After last year, I think that each prefer their teammate. Losing to Max again, embarrassing. Yeah, exactly. I can see Piastri say he would see his teammate over another team. Norris, on the other hand, I think he would want Max. Yeah, true. Jack Crawford's first name is Carlton. I remember that fact from F2 Inspos. Wait. His first name's Carlton, but he rocks Jack? Wait, what? Both Campos seat are gone. He's already got the seat. Mert Erdemar. Thank you so much for the sub, dude. Appreciate you coming in with the Prime. Thank you so much for supporting the stream for the very first time. Thank you. Throwing a rookie into next year's total unknown with the new regulations, I think is setting up for disaster. Yeah. Why can't I find the stream on TV? Where do you normally watch, Sky? Do you think the step between the hard and the medium is a bit rubbish? Just meant in Austin they didn't much use the hard. Well, this weekend they've skipped a compound again, so I have to see how it plays out. What were the qualifying times last year? Let's have a look. Good question. Moella, Lime Gaming, NK Nort, Malvic, ZX, thank you guys all for the follows. How do I look at this? Results. Are we gonna get a replay? What the fuck happened to Old Mate? Fuck off. Why am I getting pop-ups on the F1 website? It is for F1 stuff, but still. Oh my god, what is happening? Mexico. There we go. Qualifying times last year, Carlos Sainz got a 15.9. So we're 5 seconds off of that right now. Yeah, Jack Crawford's name is Carlton Jackson Crawford. That's actually really interesting. What the fuck? All right, 18 minutes in. Hedges at the top. Yuki, Ocon. Lindblad is 7/10 off of Yuki. Who's the best rookie right now? Vesti, the best rookie. Let's go, my boy. And then Awasa, then Browning, Hirakawa, Alonso, Aaron, Crawford, O'Ward, and Fiocco. Where's the Delta? Where would be in the Delta? Sup, pump up on the stream. Oh, wait, Lindblad's best rookie. Soz. I just didn't count him because he was 7/10 off Yuki. LOL. Yeah, this is confusing because we've got the rookies of F1 and then we've got the rookie test rookies. Kid, thank you for the follow. Kaju, Esti, Isla, thank you guys for the follows as well. Hi, this is my first year watching F1 and I'm really enjoying it. Kind of curious, how come the reserve drivers being out for practice right now? So the reason F1 did this, I think they've done this rule for 3 years now, where It used to be 2 times a year. Now it's 4 times a year. A reserve must fill in for a session. The reason they're doing it is to give young / inexperienced drivers more of a chance in Formula 1 to prove themselves, because prior to this rule, there was no reason for F1 drivers to put someone in for a practice session. There was nothing, you know what I mean? So these young drivers would literally hop in an F1 car with no F1 experience. Their first time hopping in an F1 car was either at a random private test with fucky rules and a fucky car, or at testing before their first season. Now, drivers get 2 to 4 to maybe even more sessions in an F1 car, so they can just get adjusted and see how well they do. To add to a question about whether a McLaren driver would want their teammate to win or Max, I think Lando would want Oscar, Oscar would want Max, but they both would say each other publicly. Yeah, true. I'm Cronus. What's up, dude? You watching it? Yeah, we're watching it right now, but not much really happening. Question is not why they do it, but why they always do it at Mexico weekend. Oh, why do they do it at Mexico? I think because Mexico's the end of the year, and I think it's 2 reasons. 3 reasons. 1, Mexico's the end of the year, and it's better to do the practice, the reserve, have your reserve come in at the end of the year, because at the start of the year, you're still trying to get the setup right, still trying to practice, test out parts and stuff like that. What the fuck? Hello? Are we good? My stream... is Luke uploading something? What the fuck's happening? Okay, my stream's gonna buffer for a bit because I'm gonna assume Luke's uploading something. Anyways, I think the audio stays fine. What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, the reason they picked the end of the year is because the car's more stable. Like, they've already put so much time into the car and the setup. It's basically the car stays the same for the rest of the year. 2, Mexico's a high downforce track, so it's easy to put rookies in a high downforce track where there's a lot of runoff. There's less chance of a crash. But 3, and the most important one, is Mexico's kind of like the only track that is normal at the end of the year. Like, Abu Dhabi is the last race of the season, so we usually see a lot of rookies in Abu Dhabi. And the other one's Mexico. Qatar's a sprint. USA's a sprint. Vegas is a fuck track. Sao Paulo is a sprint. So it mainly just ends up being Mexico and Abu Dhabi. But the fucked thing is, McLaren have decided, or Piastri has decided, that his rookie session, where he's going to give up his car, is Abu Dhabi. So for potentially the championship deciding weekend, he's giving up his car to a rookie. He's only going to have 2 practice sessions, which, don't be wrong, it's not going to make that much of a difference. But 1 hour less practice, 1 hour less working on your setup is fucking huge for a championship. Every percent counts in Formula 1, and I cannot believe that McLaren / Piastri have left their rookie session down to Abu Dhabi. It's fucking dumb. Have you spoken about Red Bull's new updates yet? Wait, Red Bull bought new updates? I didn't even know. Thoughts on wheel temp control for Piastri this weekend? I guess we'll have to wait and see. How's it going? NK North. Who's Bro and FUO? So Bro is Browning, Luke Browning. He's Williams Academy driver. He drives an F2. And FUO is Antonio Fiocco. He's a WEC driver for Ferrari. He needs his confidence back now, not in Abu Dhabi. True, but I don't know. Giving up your seat on championship weekend is crazy. Also, we still haven't got the replay of fucking Paul Aaron yet. Like, what's happening? Kick Sauber, the only ones that are like, we ain't taking a rookie. I think because they did one of their rookie tests in Hungary, and I guess they'll do the other one in Abu Dhabi. Yeah. But yeah, it would have been nice if Sauber did as well. Then we had a perfect 10. We'd have had all 10 drivers. Sorry, we'd have had 10 rookies. 1 on each team. That would have worked out really nice. Even though it won't make that much difference, if he loses in the final race, people will never shut up about it. Yeah. Well, I put it this way, right? You put a rookie in your car in FP1. You miss out on 1 hour of... I know people are going to be like, yeah, but he already knows the track. But 1 hour of practicing the track, but most importantly, getting your car set up. Then imagine you have an engine failure in practice 2 or 3. Or you crashed or something like that. Or, I mean, it's not going to happen in Abu Dhabi, but, you know, it rains or there's a red flag for a long time. You could end up going into fucking qualifying with 1 practice session. Why? That's so fucking risky. If Red Bull keeps their lineup next year of Max, Hedger, Liam, and Yuki. Wait, is that a question? Do you think... Oh, who do you think will drive alongside Max? I think it's hard. I think Yuki makes more sense because he's an experienced driver, but I wouldn't mind Hadja getting moved up, but I think it's too early. I'm Cronus. Pumpa. Thank you guys for the follows. Mexico's timings are always so delayed. I watch back the highlights of qualifying. It's always delayed. Must be the altitude. Wait, what? Really? Even though it won't make that much difference if you lose in the final race, people won't shut up about it. I read that. Is Vesti still with Merc? I thought for some reason that he left. He's still reserve driver / third driver for Merc, simulator driver. There's so many terms. There's third driver, which means like they are the third driver, so they are the one that reserves if, you know, someone can't race. Then there's reserve driver, which is basically third driver, but like they're not the third driver. They're just another driver. And then there's simulator driver, which means they just drive the sim. And like, I don't know, like, yeah, so Vesti is, I believe Vesti is, no, Vesti's reserve driver this year. Bottas is third driver. Bottas would be next in line. Vesti is reserve driver, so he's, you know, not third in line, or the third, yeah. Because, like, for instance, there are drivers who don't go to the track, don't travel with the team, don't hop in an F1 car, but they still work on the sim. You know, our own Sebastian Job of Oracle Rebel Sim Racing got to do some simulator driving for Max Verstappen in, I think it was 2021, in Max Verstappen's championship winning year. He got to do some time on the simulator, which is really, really cool. So he would be like considered a sim driver. Then you got someone like Frederick Vesti, who's a reserve driver. He's not next in line to drive in Merc. That would be Bottas. But he reserves for the team, travels with the team, does the sim for the team. And then you got a third driver, which is like Valtteri Bottas, which is like they are next in line. And that's what's worrying about McLaren, is they don't have a third driver anymore after Alex Dunn's left. So if McLaren was to have a problem and someone would need to fill in for them, who would they get? Would it be Pato? Would it be... Who would it be? Would they get Dunn back for on loan? Like, what would they do? Because, yeah, if we go through the field, VCarb obviously have Iwasa. Mercedes have Bottas and then Vesti. Red Bull have, I guess, Iwasa. Yeah. Yeah, I guess they just use Iwasa. Or they would promote one of the VCarb boys, so Hadja up to Red Bull for a race, and then Iwasa would go to VCarb. Yeah, McLaren don't have a third driver, really. They just have the reserve in Pato. So, I don't know. Would they put Pato in? Sauber have... Who does Sauber have now? Is it Pourchaire? No. Maloney? Who's Sauber's reserve? Because they've been using Paul Aaron for their fucking rookie test. Williams have Luke Browning. Alpine have Paul Aaron. Aston Martin have Dragovic and Jack Crawford. Ferrari have Joe. Yeah. And Haas have Hirakawa. Yeah. Sauber don't have anybody. Interesting. Vesti, if there is no Indy during the weekend, you reckon that Vesti would go fill in for McLaren? Loan from Ferrari for Sauber problems. Well, they've been using Paul Aaron recently. Emergency. Guess Sualdo. Thank you guys for the follows. I don't think Flavio would like what Franco did at all. He's the guy that told that. Wait, I read that. In fact, I just scrolled that so far back. Is Sal Maloney? I thought Maloney was at Sauber. Wait, let me go on Sauber's wiki real quick. Sauber Wikipedia. Oh, is that where Paul Aaron went off like 10 minutes ago and we're only just seeing it now? No, that's Franco. Oh, Paul Aaron's our official test driver. Interesting. That's so random. That's really interesting that Sauber opted for an Alpine driver as their test driver instead of a Ferrari-powered driver, because obviously they'd be more used to the engine and the car. But then again, Ferrari don't really have anyone other than Zhou. Haas, they're not going to get Hirakawa. Who's the other Ferrari-powered team? No, it's just them three, isn't it? Yeah. Weird. Yeah, Maloney left Sauber. I thought so. He's in Formula E now. Oh, Ward's pretty disappointing right now. 2 seconds off Piastri. What tire is he on though? Oh, he's on hard. Piastri's on soft fares. Do you see the new Formula E season lineup? I haven't seen the whole lineup, no, but I did see Pepe Martins joined the team that what's his name? Dan Technom's out. I think Yuki's the most logical choice just because of the reg change. So car is going to be more equal for Max and Yuki. Not saying Yuki could be faster, but it will be closer. Yeah, I agree. What type of driver was Ollie Behrman last year when Ferrari didn't have Carlos? He was reserve driver for Ferrari. I think Giovinazzi was third driver. They just went with Behrman because, yeah. It's crazy how much influence Liam has on people in NZ. Like, I go to school and people that never watch F1 are like, did you see how Liam went? Or Liam is so bad if he has a bad race. Well, no, yeah, 100%. I think having a home driver is so important for any sport. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if your country's not in the Olympics or not represented much in the Olympics, you don't tend to watch it. But when it is on, it's on the news. People talk about it. You want to cheer your people on. And I think that's the same with, you know, Liam and NZ now. Is like, you've got an athlete in one of the best sports in the world and you kind of want to watch it. You know what I mean? People talk about it and stuff like that. It's on the news more. Yeah, you want your countrymen to do well. It's the same with me with like, you know, take like Shane Van Gisbergen. Like, I don't really care about NASCAR too much, but I'm always like, how did Shane do? One, because he's from New Zealand, but two, because like, you know, I used to watch supercars and I'm like, I want to see how he's doing in another series and stuff like that. It's very important to have a home drive. I mean, look at how much Argentinian representation now is in Formula One because of Colapinto. It's huge. You know, we've got a lot of Brazilian love back as well now. Bortoleto on the grid. Yeah. I really would love a good American driver on the grid. Like, I really fucking hope Ugo Chukwu wises up in F2 next season and gets a seat in Formula One in 27 or 28, because that will be big for the sport. If we had, like imagine a Lando Norris or a Charles Leclerc or a George Russell, like one of those younger, not up and comers, but you know what I mean? Like top drivers that everyone loves, that everyone talks about. Like one of the big names was from the USA. Imagine how big that would be for the sport. Imagine American TV being able to be like, and Ugo Chukwu gets P4 this weekend in the Grand Prix, compared to just talking about French and, you know, like Dutch drivers. It'd be huge for USA, I think, having a good American driver in the sport. Crawford is good, right? I don't rate Crawford. I think he had a very mid few years in F2. I don't rate him that highly personally. Kista, thank you for the follow. What happened to Max? Max is not in the session because they are using Arvid Lindblad as their rookie test. What's the word? Not predominant. What's their word? Mandatory rookie test. That's what it should be. Do you think we see a lot more strats of soft to medium in Mexico based on Austin? What depends. We've gone for a softer compound of softs, so it depends how long the softs last, really. Where are the times? What do you mean, where are the times? They're here. What do you mean, where are the times? Oh, on the, I see. Sorry, on the broadcast. I see what you mean. Wait, no, what do you mean? They're there. Wait, what are you complaining about? What are you talking about? Is Pato Mexican? Yeah, he is. Do you think Max is winning this GP? I don't know. We'll have to see how practice 2 plays out. But I'm worried about the Red Bull this week with this altitude. To be fair, Max can afford... He can't really afford it. But if Max doesn't win one Grand Prix, it's okay. It just depends how the other guys do. Live sector times. Wait, what are you talking about? I'm confused. Gotta be in Victor Campos, in a high-tech Victor Campos to have any chance, it looks like. Ugo's in a prime, but I don't think he will be fighting for the title. That's crazy. If you said that years ago, people think you're wild. Prima used to be the team. Kind of disappointed McLaren have take away the whole, is this a repercussion discussion already? Yeah, we haven't spoken about that yet. McLaren are a joke. You know, they say their drivers can race as long as they have papaya rules. Then they don't let their drivers race. Then in Italy, they swap back positions for a racing incident, which they agreed was a racing incident. Then in Singapore, they say, oh, you can race papaya rules. And then Lando obviously races and then makes a slight mistake, gets punished for it. And then one race later, they get rid of the punishment. They're just a joke. They're just a joke. I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to be consistent, but they're just not consistent at all. Yeah, can't see mini sectors. Well, are these not working? Max Verstappen. Yeah, Prema fell off. I believe the pit crew went to IndyCar, so that's a big. Yeah, true. That's a good point. Forgot about that. Do you think Oscar might be slow this weekend because he won't be able to copy Lando's data? What do you mean he won't be able to copy Lando's data? Is that a new thing? I mean, if he can't make his own setup from not copying Lando's data, then that sounds like a him problem. Due to Oscar having more running time this weekend, there would be no excuse if he is far behind Max and Lando. True. I'm so tired. I don't know how I manage FP2. Yes, the sessions are an hour later today. And I think clocks go back on, is it on Sunday? Daylight Savings UK. Yeah. So on Sunday, clocks go, in the UK, the clocks go forward 1 hour at 1 a.m. on the last Sunday in March, and they go back an hour, 2 a.m. on the last Sunday in October. Wait, does that mean we gain an extra hour of sleep? Does that mean we get an extra hour of sleep? It does, right? Hell yeah. So that's why the race isn't late. Well, at least in the UK. I thought it was going to be like a 9 p.m. race start, but it's 8 p.m. because the clocks go back. How bad would it be if if Lindblad would crash his car? Well, it would be good because the team would be on the back foot. They need to work on his car. Plus, that's less setup time. But yeah. Like, I love Max, and him getting on the top would be nice, but just thinking that Oscar Orlando would have a title would be amazing. Yeah, I don't get me wrong. Like, I'm usually the guy who's like, let's have something new. You know what I mean? Let's get a new winner. Let's get a new champion. But this year, McLaren have given us a very... There's been some nice moments, but overall it's been a pretty... For what it could have been, a mediocre championship fight. Both drivers have been underwhelming at times and has gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't think they deserve the championship. So, yeah, as much as I'd like to see a new champion, I think Max winning the championship at this point would be way better for the sport. And that's crazy to say. That's crazy to say that I think Max winning his 5th would be better for the sport than Lando and Piastri winning their 1st. I genuinely think it'd be better for the sport if Max wins. From an entertainment standpoint, from a... I don't know, just... Yeah. I just want them all to lose. You want Russell to pull through. Zafira, David Phillip. This title fight is so lame. Wait, between Lando and Oscar, you mean? Or with Max catching up? Because I would not say the championship is lame now. Good morning, have a great weekend. Thank you, Dad. What time is it there? Like 4 a.m. Pierre should be the best for me. Russell's still not out of it. Yeah, I'm rooting for him then. McLaren can't manage fairness because if something you do can seem fair to someone and to another person, it's not. Yeah, exactly. Just let them fucking race. I mean, I don't really like Max, but I would like him to win as well, kind of, because it would just be legendary. Yeah. Have you seen Tommy for P1 will get a tattoo on his ass if Max wins the title? Yeah, he filmed that video, 2 weeks ago, 2 Grand Prix ago? Crazy that it might come true. Anna, thank you for the follow. I predicted Max to win the championship this year. I thought all hope was lost. But it actually might happen. I took a book with Max today and told him to get McLaren. He laughed. Wait, you're in Mexico? Are you at the Grand Prix right now? I forgot F1 was on. Wait, what do you mean you forgot F1 was on? You've been in chat. I was saying nothing is happening. Yeah, it's been a pretty, like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, it's TikTok thinking I'm not real. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's been a bit of a quiet session. You know what it is? I can't see the fucking tires on the side of the screen, so I don't know who's on what, and I don't want to be like, oh, look when he's on softs. Oh, yellow flag. Who's this? Is that a what's up? No, it's heads up. Noob. Oh, his tire's gonna be poopy now. Do you think Toyota will be able to take claim over a Haas seat like Honda does? Take claim, maybe not, but I think they're gonna be very integrated in the team. I mean, they already are really integrated in the team. I believe Haas are using a lot of their facilities. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years we have like a proper like the team's called Haas Toyota or Toyota Haas. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think Toyota give me the vibe that they're scared to commit to F1 because of how much money it costs, and also like they don't want to. Oh, that is a sexy helmet that Hulkenberg has this weekend. I think they're scared to commit to F1 because of how much it costs, and they don't want to be with the team that like finishes, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. They want to look like a good team. So I feel like they're kind of liking just being like an outside of Haas until they, feel like locking it. I feel like they'll do a Honda. Like, they'll kind of sit on the outskirts, but then if their team is fighting for wins or fighting for championships, then they'll be like, yeah, we want to be in the sport now. Do you rate Lindblad? Yeah, I rate Lindblad a lot. I do think he needs another season in F2, but I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great driver. I think he's got everything there to be in Formula One. He's probably one of the most like mature people I've like met in my life. Like, so for context, I interviewed Arvid last year at the Austrian Grand Prix. And I didn't really know much about the F2, most of the juniors last year. I didn't know much about Tim Tramitz. I didn't know about Arvid Lindblad. And I interviewed him. And then he was so nice, such a nice guy. And then I was like, yeah, I did this the wrong way round. There was a reason for this, by the way. But then I checked his Wikipedia after I interviewed him. 16 years old. 16 years old. He was so mature, like, such a nice guy, so mature, like, the way he spoke. And since then, obviously, I've become, like, an Arvid fan, and, like, seeing his interviews and the way he approaches F1. He went over to New Zealand last year to race in the Toyota Racing Series during the summer, not the summer break, during the winter break. He's very switched on. He is super switched on. Do you think it'd be worth to buy F1 TV right now or wait till the next season? You can go month by month until for now. But yeah, I highly recommend at the start of the year getting a 1-year sub. And if you can, get one of the like fatty discounts. No way the other Ferrari driver is last. Yeah, Fioco's way off the pace. This is his first time in an F1 car, to be fair. But yeah, still. And he is on hards as well. To be fair, Fioco's on 18-lap hards. Let's give him a break. O'Ward, however, is coming out now on fresh softs. Let's see how he does. Because he's way off right now. I don't even know what's happening in the Apple deal. So Apple have bought the exclusive rights to broadcast Formula One in the US. So it means if you're in the US, you have to buy Apple TV to watch F1. It's the same as Sky Sports has the exclusive rights in the UK. Watch this, please. What was that? Why isn't Lando in the session? They're using one of the mandatory rookie sessions to have a award in the car. Do you know what happened to Max and Lando? Yes, so they're doing a mandatory rookie test. They have to give up their seats twice a year for a rookie. So there's 9 rookies on track replacing F1 drivers right now. How's Oscar look? Oscar's currently in P4 behind Hulk, but it's really hard to judge right now. All right, Fioku's coming out on softs now. Let's see how Fioco and O'Ward do. Lindblad's quite far down as well. I'd like him to come out on softs again. Crawford's 9/10 off his teammate right now. Aaron is 1 second off his teammate. Browning is 9 seconds. I'm not 9 seconds, sorry, 9/10 off his teammate. Hirakawa is fucking these timings, man. What is this? Hirakawa is 9/10 off his teammate. Vesti is 1.2 seconds off his teammate. Bro, why is everyone literally a second off their teammate? I mean, I know they're rookies, but still. That's big gaps. You look like Liam Lawson. Thank you. How's it going, Louis? Sauber's cookie. Yeah, Sauber's looking good right now, but keep in mind they are the only team with 2 full-time drivers in their seat right now. I actually can't believe it. I'm cold in my room right now with my 2 PCs on. That hasn't happened since, like, Feb this year. What are the goals for the rookie drivers themselves? Drive smart, not reckless speed. I think their goal, first off, is to do what the team tell them to do. So obviously they're going to be doing a run plan right now to help their team for the weekend. But secondly, I think they want to get as much up to speed in an F1 car, like learn, you know, how the car feels. Okay, maybe like, I don't like my seat like this. I like my seat like this. Kind of like just getting up to speed with how an F1 car feels. And most importantly, getting used to the speeds. Like, okay, my neck's going to come forward. And like, this is how an F1 car feels. And then lastly, they want to prove themselves. They want to try to get as close to their teammate as possible. But I don't think, like, it's one of those things where if you do bad in a rookie test, as in like bad lap times, no one's going to really be like, oh, well, he sucks. Because it is a rookie test and you don't really want to push and crash. But if you do well, like Alex Dunn did in his rookie test in, I think it was Canada, then you get everyone talking. So you kind of want to try to do well. But yeah, it's really interesting that all the rookies are at the bottom. I'll share, there you go. Where you stream on? I'm streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. Villeneuve saying that Palo in V-Carb next year. Can that guy just shut up? Run a game on your second monitor. Can I get warmer? True. Dunn deserves a seat. Not right now. I think next year he does. Well, Bot has to be doing a practice session? No, because he won't count as a rookie. He's done more than 3 Grand Prix. Fioco getting a bit squirrely on the exit there. 2.4 seconds off his teammate. That's not great from Fioco. I mean, again, it's his first time in an F1 car, but still. Never thought about seat fittings, helmet stuff. Well, think about this, right? Imagine someone tells you, hey, we're going to give you this random, like, I'm sure you have a car at home, right? Imagine someone goes, hey, we're going to give you this random car. I'm going to try to think of a car. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Hey, here's a Lamborghini. Hop in it and drive as fast as you can. You're going to hop in and you're not, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to want to adjust your seat to be close to the wheel. You're going to have to figure out how, like, your mirrors and how you look at it, look into your mirrors, look at the rear view mirror. Oh, how low am I to the ground? You know what I mean? Like, how does the car feel? What do the brakes feel like? Everything applies to an F1 car as well, but on an insane level because these guys are going 300 kilometers per hour and the braking's insane. So, like, yeah. It must just be such a weird experience hopping in an F1 car. It must be so fucking cool, but it must be so weird having to adapt. F1 Eddies. See, theme of the bullet. Woo! Arvid up to P5. Ahead of Yuki right now. Oh no, Yuki better come out. Yuki better come out and put a lap in right now. Otherwise, everyone's going to be fucking talking about it. Why aren't some of the drivers racing? So 9 drivers are doing their mandatory rookie session, meaning they put a rookie in the car and have to give up their seat. Yeah, it's Fiocco driving for Ferrari. Damn, Lindblad, 18 years old, P5 right now, 0.6 off of the top time, ahead of Yuki. Let's see how Yuki responds. So if people are just tuning in with these last 10 minutes to go, just to give you a rundown of the drivers. We've got Antonio Fiocco filling in for Lewis at Ferrari. He's a WEC driver. We've got Jack Crawford filling in for Stroll at Aston Martin. He is reserve driver for Aston Martin, also currently driving in Formula 2. Luke Browning is a Williams Academy driver. He's filling in for Sainz at Williams. Then we've got Ayumu Iwasa. He is reserve driver for VCARB, and he's filling in for Liam Lawson. We've got Hirakawa filling in. Wait, what's Hirakawa's first name? Anyways, we've got Hirakawa filling in for Haas. He is reserve driver for Haas and a WEC driver. We've got Paul Aaron filling in for Gasly at Alpine. He is used to be an F2 and is now a reserve driver for Alpine. We've got Pato O'Ward filling in for Lando at McLaren. He is a IndyCar driver and a reserve driver for McLaren. We've got Frederick Vesti filling in for George Russell at Mercedes. He is reserve driver for Mercedes and also drives for Cadillac in WEC. And I think he also just did IMSA a couple weeks ago as well. And then we have got Arvid Lindblad filling in for Max Verstappen at Red Bull, who is an 18-year-old currently driving an F2, who is most likely going to be on the F1 grid next year at VCARB. So he's the one you want to focus the most on, is how is Arvid looking. And he is right now a 10th ahead of Yuki. Wait, did Yuki just set his lap? Damn, Lindblad ahead of Yuki and they've both done laps on softs. Interesting. Oh yeah, Rio Hirakawa. Wow, that's big from Lindblad. That is huge. What lap is Yuki on? Oh, Yuki's on hards. Yuki is on hards. I thought he was on softs. I think Yuki should have came out on softs. Otherwise, people who don't watch practice are going to look at that and be like, Lindblad beating Yuki. Ah! Crazy Casper, what's up, dude? Who's in for Russell? That's Frederick Vesti. Used to be an F2 driver, now reserved for Mercedes. I got a video up on my YouTube channel from like 4 years ago, if you want to go watch it, of me and Frederick Vesti playing some open lobbies together when he was back in F3. You staying live to FP2? Yeah, we'll be watching some stuff in between. Reminds me, I haven't eaten yet. I need to eat. Crawford has your racing number, does he? Well, that's not Crawford's number, to be fair. That is Aston Martin's reserve number. They race under the team's reserve number, not under their own number. Yuki selling sauce, he switched back to hards, but that time was that he just did was on hards, I believe. Either way, he's on hards right now, so that time is not accurate. Oh, okay, sorry. I thought he improved on the hards. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't send Yuki out on softs. Either way, great effort from Lindblad, the best of the rookies right now. And you can sit here and be like, yeah, but he's in a Red Bull. But that Red Bull is fucking hard to drive. And he's only 0.6 off of Leclerc, which is like, you know, usually the second Red Bull driver is 0.7 off of Max. So to be 0.6 off of Leclerc is really good. And, oh, he's in the best car. Yeah, but why is O'Ward down in 13th? Why is Vesti down in 14th? You know what I mean? Why is Fiocco down in 20th? For Arvid to hop in to Max's car and to be that much in the mix in his first session, I think, is it his first time in an F1 car? It's either his first or second time in an F1 car, is really fucking good. Shout out Lindblad. Oh, he did Silverstone as well, so yeah, it'd be his second time. And then he would have done like he would have done some tests as well outside of official F1 sessions, but they would be in old F1 cars. Why is the graphic showing Oscar on hards? Is this broken again? No, this is right. Piastri, yeah, apparently Piastri's on hards. You guys are confusing me. You guys keep saying why aren't the timings? Why aren't the timings? The timings are on the screen. What's wrong? Unless this is broken, but I don't think it is. If Max leaves, you'll support Arvid. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I don't know. Maybe it is just because I am connected to the team. Maybe it is just because I've interviewed these drivers. But a lot of the drivers that Red Bull sign, like Arvid, like Hedger, like Liam, like Max, like Daniel, are drivers that end up being drivers I like a lot. I like Pierre Gasly as well. I mean, I like Yuki and Perez, but they, maybe not as much as the other drivers I named. Yeah. Red Bull always sign exciting drivers. They don't. Well, I mean, they sign Nick DeVries, but they don't really sign like a Logan Sargent or a Stroll or a Ocon or like, I don't know. In my opinion, they don't sign boring drivers. They sign drivers who actually really are really aggressive, really want to be in the sport, give it the raw in the media and stuff like that. Oh yeah, DeVries was fucking stupid. Robbed Liam of a seat in his prime, man. Lindblad being better than Yuki is crazy. Keep in mind, Yuki hasn't done a lap on the softs. But it's still an amazing effort from Lindblad. We're doing tomorrow. So tomorrow's my 6-year streaming anniversary. I'm thinking of either doing open lobbies or doing a cooking stream where we bake a cake. And then we'll obviously do practice stream and qualifying afterwards. Croco, name of the follow. Guys, we've got 3 minutes left for practice session. If you've enjoyed so far, be sure to follow down below. We do watch-alongs like this for every single Grand Prix weekend. So join me later on today for FP2. We'll be live all the way through to it. Cooking, please. Yeah, it's more just I have to get the equipment and figure it out. Because by the time practice 2 finishes today, it will be midnight. And then, yeah. I'll wake up in the morning and figure it out. Otherwise, we'll just do open lobbies. Bake a cake and smash it in Luke's face. I don't think we would like that. I still think they did Nick dirty. They supposedly hired him for experience, but his whole career he's shown he is more of a cerebral driver that takes a year to get up to speed. He was already closing the gap on Yuki. Really? I think the thing was Nick DeVries was 28 years old with experience in Formula E and was it WEC? Nick's goal was to come in and to deliver that team points. He was meant to come in and be the experienced driver. And he wasn't. He was getting beaten by Yuki. So he did have his chance because his goal wasn't, hey, we're going to give you 2 seasons to get up to speed. No. His goal was you need to be on it straight away. And he wasn't on it straight away. He was on it straight away at Williams in his reserve race. McLaren had a slow stop in practice. Why are they so bad at pits? Hey, it's practice, right? As long as you learn from that, coming into the race. Tanya, David the Pollock. You can just lap on softs just a little earlier, and then that should still be faster. Favorite race this year so far? Ooh. This gotta be Silverstone, right? That race was banging. I feel like I've forgotten this season already. Silverstone, and then there was another banger race. What was the other banger? Was it Netherlands? No, what was the other banger? No, it wasn't Netherlands. What was there was 2 bangers this year. Hungary? Why am I in Hungary? Bruh. Silverstone was amazing. And then I liked Australia. I thought Australia was amazing as an opening round. The intensity in that race, the drama. Australia was banging. Bro, what was the other race that had like wet during the race and it was like banging? There's another race, wasn't there? I swear there was another race that I was like, should I do a live reactions video for? Oh, Netherlands. Yeah, Netherlands. Had you got P3? Or did nothing happen in that race? No, I can't. I swear there was another race. That was banging. Wait, I can just go on my TikTok and look at all my reactions. What happened? Was it Monza? Monza's got a lot of clips. Dutch GP, Norris DNF, the McLaren Antonelli crash, Sainz and Lawson, Hamilton crash. Yeah, it was Netherlands. That's got to be Arvid's brother, surely. Nothing happened. Why have you stopped the reaction videos? So I stopped the live reaction series on YouTube, the long form videos, because it just took so much time and I wasn't really gaining much from it. Chris's fan reaction series kind of does the job of why I started that series anyway, which was to reach people who want to watch a long form video of me reacting. So I decided for the time that I had to put into it just wasn't worth it. And I'm so glad I did. My Mondays being freed up is so much better. I can get my short form videos out quicker and yeah, it's just been a lot better. All right, guys, that is practice one done. We're just waiting for Antonelli to cross the line. Boom, there we go. So, rundown of the grid. We have got Antonio Fiocco in P20, 2.4 seconds off of his teammate. Now, it is his first time in Formula 1, but for an experienced driver like him, I thought he would have done better than that. Crawford, and he was also 5/10 off of Crawford in front of him. Yikes. Then we've got Crawford in P19, 9/10 behind Alonso. Would have liked to have seen him get closer to Alonso. Then we've got Luke Browning in P18. 9/10 off his teammate. Again, would have liked to have seen him closer to Albon. Then we got Iwasa, P17. 7/10 behind his teammate. Not bad. Would have liked to have seen him a bit closer though. Then we got Hirakawa in P16. 1 second off of his teammate. Again, for the experience Hirakawa has and the amount of time he's had an F1 car, would have liked to have seen him closer to Ocon as well. Then we got Paul Aaron in P15. 5/10 off Colapinto. That's pretty good effort. Pretty good effort. Again, I don't know what tires everyone set these on, so I'm just going off of the times himself. Frederick Vesti, P14. He was 1.2 seconds off of his teammate, so that's not a great gap either. Again, don't know what tires he was on, but would have liked to have seen him closer. They've got Pato O'Ward, 9/10 off of Piastri. Again, with the amount of time he's had an F1 car and the experience he has, I would have liked to have seen him closer. Then we got Alonso in P12, Hadra in P11, Albon in P10, Colapinto in P9, Tsunoda in P8, Ocon in P7, and the big one, Arvid Lindblad, 1/10 ahead of Yuki. Now, Yuki didn't set a lap on the sauce at the end there, but for Arvid Lindblad to hop in Max Verstappen's car, one of the hardest, or the hardest car to drive on the grid, and to only be 6/10 off of the top time, and to be ahead of his teammate is an amazing effort. That is beautiful from Arvid. That, I think, is going to secure him a seat in F1 at V-Cup next year. I wouldn't be surprised now. I think it's between Liam and Yuki now for that second seat. Then we got Bortoleto in P5, Piastri P4, Hulkenberg in P3, Antonelli P2, and Leclerc at the top in P1. Sauber. Now, I know Sauber had both their main drivers in the car, but how the fuck are they P3 and P5 right now? I guess they like the higher downforce. Anyways, guys, that wraps up FP1. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to follow down below. If you're watching on TikTok or YouTube right now, come join us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ponden. We're going to be staying live all the way through to practice 2. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later for practice 2, where we can chat all again. We'll see all the 20 drivers back in their car. So yeah. YouTube, I'm going to end the stream there. Again, come join us on Twitch. Thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to sub down below, like down below. I'll see you guys later for Epi 2. Bye-bye.